Jayson Tatum has been a perennial All-NBA forward and the face of the Celtics, but this was a strange season. An injury wiped out most of his year, and Boston rolled along without him before another playoff disappointment. So does any of that change his standing? Is Tatum overrated, underrated, or properly rated? Let the numbers settle it. Here's how this works. Every episode the same way. The perception, then the case he's underrated, then the case he's overrated, all from the data. We factor in the contract because value matters, then the verdict on our OU meter, and we always close on the positive because the model can't measure everything. The facts are verified, the ruling is mine. Let's start with the perception. This is Game is Culture. Quick thing before the verdict. If you like player breakdowns that use real data instead of takes, subscribe. It's free and it helps a ton. Now the perception. The perception of Tatum is genuinely split. To many, he's a top 3 to 5 player, a two-way wing with the resume and the accolades. To his critics, he's a notch below the very best, a great player who settles for jumpers and hasn't always answered in the biggest moments. This injury-hit season and Boston's success without him hands both camps fresh ammunition. Let's weigh it carefully. Now, a fairness note on the numbers. Tatum played only about 16 regular season games before injury cut his year short, so this isn't a normal full season sample. In those games, he posted strong all-around numbers, around 22 points and 10 rebounds, but the efficiency dipped while he was clearly not fully right. We have to judge him on his established level, not a tiny compromised sample. The case that he's underrated. Here's the case for, built on his established level, not this year. A healthy Tatum is one of the most complete forwards in basketball, a high-volume scorer, a strong rebounder and passer for his position, and a genuinely good defender. Even returning from injury, he led the entire playoffs in rebounding. Few wings combine his scoring, size, and two-way impact. At full strength, he's a legitimate top-tier star. Map his established game, and it's beautifully well-rounded. Scoring, rebounding, playmaking, defense, and size all grade out high. A true do-everything forward with almost no glaring hole. The only real critique is shot selection and efficiency, a tendency to settle for tough jumpers that can dip his percentages. But the overall shape is exactly what you draw up for a franchise wing. Balance is his superpower. Now the honest case against, and this season fuels it. Boston went 56-26 and stayed elite largely without him, which quietly raises the question of how irreplaceable he truly is. Then, when the team did reach the playoffs, they lost a tight series, extending a frustrating pattern of postseason letdowns. Add the streaky efficiency, and the critics have a real, if incomplete, argument. The contract factor. And the contract is the largest in the league, a record supermax. That sets the bar at undisputed top 3 value, and this particular season, 16 games and an early exit fell short of that lofty mark. But a one-year injury blip shouldn't redefine a long-term deal. Judged against his established level, the supermax is steep but roughly fair. Judged against this season alone, it was a tough year for the price. Plot his established two-way value against the doubts and you see why he sits in the middle. On talent and production, he's clearly elite, near the very top. On the narrative, the team's success without him, the playoff exits, he gets dragged down. Those forces are real on both sides and roughly equal, which is why neither the top 3 crowd nor the overrated crowd is fully right. Quick halftime note, if you want the verdict on more players like this, stick around and subscribe while you're here, it's free. Now, perception versus reality. So stack the perception against the reality. The top 5 crowd points to his complete two-way resume, and they're right that the talent is elite. The critics point to the playoff exits and a team that hummed without him, and they're right that the very top tier wins more in May. Both sides land real punches, which is exactly why this verdict sits in the balanced middle.
Here's the swing factor, the injury distortion. This season's evidence is genuinely murky. A tiny sample, a team succeeding in his absence, a short playoff run on a not fully healthy star. That's not a clean read on who Tatum is. His established level, several All-NBA seasons of elite two-way play is a far better guide than 16 compromised games. The blip shouldn't overwrite the body of work. The verdict. So here it is, the OU meter. Tatum lands almost dead center, properly rated. He's an elite, complete two-way forward. That's not in doubt. But the playoff letdowns and a team that thrived without him keep him just shy of the untouchable top tier. The hype and the criticism roughly cancel, and what's left is an honest, very high evaluation, properly rated at a genuinely elite level. And properly rated is not a slight, it's a compliment at his altitude. It means a perennial All-NBA forward is being valued just about right, neither overhyped nor overlooked. The top 5 talk is fair on talent, the criticism is fair on the biggest moments, and the truth sits in between. For a player this scrutinized, landing exactly where he should is its own kind of validation. And here's the principle that holds every episode. The model can't measure everything. The leadership, the durability he'll fight to regain, the response a frustrating season tends to provoke from great players. It can't predict a healthy monster bounce back season, and it can't fully capture his impact from a 16-game sample. A clean, healthy year is the simplest path for Tatum to climb from properly rated toward underrated. Where could I be wrong? If you fully discount this injury season and weight his peak resume, you'd push him to underrated, and that's defensible. If you weight the playoff disappointments heavily, you'd drift toward overrated. Both polls are legitimate, which is precisely why the balanced center is the fair landing spot for a season this distorted by injury. And the bounce back potential is obvious. A fully healthy Jayson Tatum is a clear top 5 player who can carry a contender on both ends. Exactly what he's shown for years. One injury year doesn't erase that. It pauses it. Get him right, give him a deep playoff run, and the top tier conversation snaps right back into place. The talent never left. Forwards with his blend of size, scoring, and two-way feel don't simply lose it in a single year on the sidelines. They come back hungry. Expect a motivated, fully healthy Tatum to remind everyone exactly why the top 5 debate included him in the first place. So that's the verdict. Jayson Tatum is properly rated, an elite forward whose hype and criticism cancel out almost perfectly. Do you agree, or does his resume make him underrated? Tell me where you'd set the meter below. And next episode, we put another star on the OU meter. And we are so close to 1,000 subs, so subscribe to stay up to date.